Dearly beloved, please be seated. We welcome you warmly, the Vice President of our Republic. And now, dearly beloved, concluding the tribute by present members of the chamber, Akufo-Addo President.
Siblings, Da Epiphania, Fo Kosivi, MFA, myself, and Ako. Akoto Ampaw's formative years were marked by a deep sense of community, generosity, and a passion for education instilled by his parents. He began his pre-basic education at the age of 6 in the year 1956 at the St. Francis Demonstration School, which was the experimental practice school of the then St. Francis Training College, now St. Francis College of Education, where his father was at the time the vice principal. While there, he made lifelong friends in the persons of Hansen Senu, Chaku Mensah, Guy Kofi Kondomre, and Lambert Bache of blessed memory. In 1959, Tony, along with his father, left for Great Britain, where he continued his primary school education in the town of Reading. His mother, Dorothea, later joined them until they returned to Ghana in 1961. He later gained admission into St. Augustine's College, Augusco, in 1963, where he was placed in St. George's House until his completion of Form 5. While at Augusco, he sat for the School Certificate and General Certificate of Education Ordinary Level exam in June of 1967. He was an exemplary student who, as a science student, was selected in Form 3 for his academic brilliance and placed in a special class in response to the Ministry of Education's experiment to cut secondary education to 4 years. He sat with Form 4 students in taking the O-level exams, which he passed with flying colors. When Tony returned to sixth form, he switched to the arts program. Subsequently, he was elected the St. Joseph's House Prefect for the 1968-69 academic year. His aptitude to combine and excel in academic, sports, and social life whilst in St. Augustine's earned him the nickname rough tactics. Throughout his time at Ogasco, Fotoni was an outstanding athlete, specializing in 800-meter race. Additionally, he was a stellar footballer and table tennis player. He was also an active member of the Drama and Literary Club, Debate Society, Athletics Club, and the Voluntary Workers Union, popularly known as VOLU. In 1971, he entered the University of Ghana, Legon, to read LLB law. Besides having a rich academic life, he was an ardent political activist and further established himself as a great sportsman par excellence in table tennis, track and cross-country events, and football, for which he had a great passion. Between 1971 and 1975, Fotoni won Sportsman of the Year award on 2 occasions. His love for football made him develop himself as a player coach for his halls, which is the Mensa Saba Hall, soccer team, and the University of Ghana team. It was during his years at Legon that he earned the nickname Sheshe, which he was proudly called until his final days. Akoto Ampaw was known as a near perfectionist in life. And in the words of one of his closest associates, Charles Rekubrobe, Sheshe was incomparable as a legal brain, friend, brother, and all he stood for. Sheshe took up a leader role as the Secretary General of the All-African Students Union from 1979 to 1985, together with other student leaders such as Philip Gardner of blessed memory, Yao Graham, Formitus, Kwesi Edua-Mankwa, Gusitano, and alongside some university lecturers and workers, including Fui Chikata, Chachu Chikata, Professor Kwame Karikari, Professor Tichua Menu, and Honorable E.T. Mensah, he revived and re-energized the anti-imperial movement in Ghana during the late 70s. This culminated in the formation of the New Democratic Movement in 1980. During this period, Uncle Shea devoted all his time and energy to the development of a vibrant, democratic, anti-imperialist and human rights movement in Ghana, at the expense of his career and further studies. In 1980, now a graduate student in law as well as a student leader, Fotoni became a member of the National Affairs Discussion Group, NADIG, as one of the few student members, which led to him being a founding member of the New Democratic Movement, NDM. When Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings overthrew the then democratically elected government of President Hila Liman on the 31st of December 1981, Fotoni and other leading members of the NDM, after several weeks of deliberation, decided to give critical support to the new regime of the PNDC. The NDM collaborated with Rawlings and the PNDC until 1985, when they broke away because their political views were no longer in alignment. Following this, Fotoni was placed in political detention by Rawlings' PNDC regime. The first time was in 1986, where he was held in Tamale prison for 6 months, and again in 1987, where he spent 22 months in James Ford prison in Accra. During these dreadful times, his siblings, Danette, Dakonso, and Fokwame will continue to care for him, providing food and other necessities whilst he was in detention. Sheshe was among 7 critics, namely Akwesi Edua-Mankwa, or Formitus, as many of you may know him, Professor Kwame Karikari, Yao Graham, John Ndebugri, of blessed memory, Ralph Kugbe, Kwesi Pratt, and Kweku Bako, who were arrested by then security police in 1987. 4 of the 7 were released after a few months. Before their arrest, they and other members of the NDM and the Kwame Nkrumah Revolutionary Guard were accused in the government-owned press of inciting students and trade unionists against the government's economic policies. Sheshe, Edua-Mankwa, and Professor Kwame Karikari. The remaining 3 even appeared in the January 1989 issue of the Amnesty International newsletter in the Campaign for Prisoners of the Month section. The article stressed that they had not been accused of using or advocating for violence, but were considered to be prisoners of conscience, detained solely on the account of their political opinions. In 1990, after his release from detention, Fotoni, together with Professor Albert Edubuahin, Kwesi Pratt Jr., Kweku Bako Jr., His Excellency, the current President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, and a few others formed the Movement for Freedom and Justice, which broke the culture of silence in Ghana and ultimately forced the Rawlings-led military junta to come to an end, returning Ghana to a democratic rule. In 1991, Sheshe returned to his legal studies, enrolling in the Ghana School of Law, and was called to the bar in 1993. He then joined his now close friend and colleague, His Excellency Nana Addo, at his law firm, Nana Addo Prempe and Company. Within a short time, he established himself as a reliable and formidable litigator. Sheshe's hard work and boundless intellect helped him to quickly rise up the ranks to main partner. His illustrious work as a legal practitioner was not for personal gain, but often for the protection of human rights and to uphold the Constitution of Ghana. In 1995, Fotoni and other leaders of the Alliance for Change, a political pressure group, led the famous Kumi Preko demonstrations, mobilizing countless Ghanaians onto the streets of Accra to protest the harsh economic conditions and the value-added tax policy introduced by the Rawlings administration. Fotoni and a dedicated and diligent lawyer who reveled in hard work. This was to the result that every time he entered a courtroom, he had at his command a complete knowledge of the facts and laws pertaining to the case. With this important advantage not only always shared by his opponents, he was able to present his argument cogently, courteously, and comprehensively. He was a straightforward advocate and was never one to rely on showmanship or performative submissions in the courtroom. Fotoni was the head of the Ajesu family of Lobia Shambi. However, due to his heavy work schedule, he often delegated most of the work, which included land issues in particular, to his younger brother, Fokwame. Though slow to speak, Shea's words were always final as soon as he opened his mouth at family meetings. In private life, Fotoni got engaged to Kate Queno in 2001. In April 2005, when plans were advanced for his wedding to Kate, his very close and loving sister, Danette, passed on to eternity. 2 months after Danette's burial, his fiancée, Kate, also tragically lost her life after a short illness. These 2 deaths in quick succession heavily affected Uncle Shea, and we dare say that his life was no longer the same. Fotoni had a very strong bond with his immediate family, siblings, nephews, and nieces. His younger siblings, MFR, myself, Ako, and his nephews, Sena Akoto Ampaw, his namesake, were regarded as his own children by friends and close associates. He has been a father to all, to every member of the family since the death of our dad in June of 1975. When his dear sister Danette passed, he and Dakonso took over the guardianship of Princess Fatia, whom he affectionately called his little girl. There is hardly anyone in the family who did not benefit from his good counsel and generosity. A lover of jazz, the home would occasionally be filled with beautiful melodies dancing out from his bedroom upstairs. Although he was very much a workaholic, when he could find the time, Uncle Shay would attend jazz clubs with his friends and colleagues, and also found ways to make time for his Friday fufu sessions with a close-knit group of companions. The fufu maestros were some of his dearest friends over the years, including Mike Agri, Rigor Mortis, Asafu Asafu, Chief Loco, Auntie Gladys, Bernard Shaw, Fred Nemo, Smiley Bannerman, Nana Osei Tutu, Sir Charles Ajay, Kofi Ampaw, just to name a few. It was at home in the company of his two closest sisters, Dakonso and Danette, that Fotoni truly enjoyed life. He especially loved and enjoyed the weekend fufu prepared by his sisters, after which we will all gather in front of TV to watch football, his greatest passion. When Dakonso too left us on the fateful Monday at dawn, some of us knew deep in our hearts that Fotoni was not going to be the same again. The bond was just too strong between the two of them. Fotoni used his experience and knowledge to advocate for human rights and reforms, to enhance democratic dispensation through electoral integrity. His activism extended far beyond the shores of Ghana. In July of 2009, Tony embarked on a trip to the Gambia with members of the Media Foundation for West Africa to follow up on the case of journalists who had suffered multiple attacks at the hands of Gambian authorities in the face of abundant freedoms in other neighboring countries like Ghana and Nigeria. Ever the activist and reformer, he was a leading member of CDD, Media Foundation, and Star Ghana, and chairman of the Law Reform Commission. Fotoni worked on the Office of Special Prosecutor Bill, enacted into law in 2017, the Right to Information Bill, which was passed in 2019, and recently putting together a coalition to oppose the so-called Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. To these and other such causes which he championed, Fotoni brought a great deal more than intellectual firepower. His technical skill as an experienced lawyer brought altruistic love and compassion. Fotoni soon acquired a good and wide-ranging practice. He was much in demand in cases involving intricate questions of constitutional law. Always willing and able to share his wealth of knowledge, he authored the book, Legislation on Media, Speech and Expression in Ghana, which was published in 2004 by MFWA, the most detailed and exhaustive source book on Ghanaian media law till date. Fotoni's most enduring work was done in the halls of justice, with notable cases such as Abel Edusei versus the Attorney General and others in 1998, Kwesi Nyamitiase Eshan versus EC and AG 2016, and Martin Amidu versus Attorney General and others in 2017. In recent times, he is most widely known for the election petition cases. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and others versus John Dramani Mahama and others, 2013, special edition, and John Dramani Mahama versus Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and others, 2021. Over the years, his work on such trailblazing cases earned him national recognition and further enhanced his already high reputation and popularity among the general public as a man of uncommon integrity who was dedicated to defending the rights of the individual, the ordinary citizen, against the forces of bureaucratic government. In March of 2023, while in hospital, he was awarded the National Honors Order of the Volta Companion. He received the award for his work as a member of the International Tribunal of the Law of the Seas, ITLOS, main legal team that helped Ghana win the maritime border dispute against Cote d'Ivoire in 2017. Prior to this, he, over the years, received numerous awards and honors, such as the Student Representative Council, University of Ghana Certificate of Honors in 2000, 2 Ghana Journalists Association Awards in 2005 and 2008, respectively. The honorary award by the Coalition to the Right of Information Ghana 2019 for his exceptional leadership and dedication towards the passage of Ghana's Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, and the Honor of Legend of Journalism Award from the Center for Communication and Culture in 2022. In February of 2023, the legal luminary Akoto Ampaw was rushed to the hospital to the University of Ghana Medical Center after a breakdown. His body has succumbed to the poor eating habits and sleep deprivation that were a direct effect of his workaholism and overburdened task load. 4 months later, while steadily recovering to the joy of family and loved ones, his dear sister, Princess Consolata, whom he affectionately called Biroto, passed away after a long illness on the 5th of June, 2023. Being the closest to her, Dakonso's death took an immediate toll on Fotoni, and his health was once again in decline. 2 months after his sister's burial, Fotoni was once again sent to the University of Ghana Medical School for a procedure to assist his eating, which he responded quite well. Tragically and unexpectedly, on the night of Thursday, the 19th of October, his health took a turn for the worse. Despite efforts of numerous doctors and medical professionals working through the night on Friday, the 20th of October 2023, at around 8 a.m., our Venerable Anthony Akoto Ampaw took his last breath, surrounded by heartbroken and dejected family and close friends. Akoto Ampaw, man of unparalleled integrity, voice of the voiceless, and legal luminary, we take solace in the knowledge that you will be remembered for paving the way for others and leaving a lasting legacy. Your impactful work and the contributions shall be celebrated by future generations. For legends never truly die. Thank you.
Keep watching Stone Media GH.
Thank you very much. Thank you.